Trump was a humiliating embarrassment. I mean, just the promises he made, none of them were kept. You know, he was going to build a wall. He didn't build it. He was going to solve the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. Jared actually was going to solve it, his son-in-law. As you know, it hasn't been solved. He was.
I mean, there was a lot of progress on that. Would you concede that?
I don't. Well, what progress was there?
The Israeli foreign minister turning up in Saudi Arabia. I mean, all of that stuff and better relations between the countries in the region. Did you not feel that that was some progress?
What changed materially, though?
In this video, David Pakman shreds a 2v1 against clueless Trump defenders. David Pakman takes on Konstantin, Kisin and Foster, exposing their weak defenses of Trump and bad faith attacks on Biden. From Trump's failed promises to Biden's global reputation, David Pakman just dismantles their arguments piece by piece while they scramble to justify Trump's failures, whether it's the non-existent border wall, or the botched Afghanistan withdrawal, or fake outrage over Biden's age. This debate gets pretty interesting, so make sure to watch till the end to see how David Pakman shreds the 2v1 against these clueless Trump defenders.
Look, maybe let's not spend too much time on it. So
well,
you don't think he made any progress?
Let me put it this way. Did anything change materially?
I think it's quite a difficult situation to change materially in the course of a 4-year presidency. But
so it didn't. That's fair. Okay, we agree. It didn't change materially. They did do some optics things. You know, there was a flight like from Tel Aviv to UAE, but I think we're on the same page. We can't. Neither one of us can identify anything that changed materially. Is that fair?
What I would say is I think some progress was made in a very difficult situation. I don't claim that the situation became dramatically different and we are now like way towards a solution. And also, I think I'd also concede that it's not an issue I know enough about to have a proper discussion with you as well.
That's fair. We can table it on that basis. No, listen, I mean, as far as Joe Biden's not exciting to me. You know, I'm a progressive social democrat, so Joe Biden's not exciting. He did some good things. So he did a third COVID stimulus at a time that I think it was necessary, extended a pause on student loans, got a pretty good infrastructure bill passed, got us out of Afghanistan, which I think was a great thing. I think that was a quagmire.
Do you?
Oh my God. I mean, we were there 21 years.
No, I agree with you with the quagmire point, yeah. But did you feel that the way that was done went well?
I think it went as well as it would have gone no matter who did it.
Wow. Interesting.
I mean, when Trump was asked, what would you have done differently? And he literally couldn't articulate a single difference. So at least Trump was going to do it. And another failed promise. Biden did it. And when Trump was given the opportunity to articulate how he would have handled it differently, he couldn't name a single difference. So let me put it in the most factual way possible. I've not heard Trump explain what would have gone differently. And therefore, I have no basis on which to assume it would have. Is that fair?
So Kisin tries to spin Trump's Israel-Palestine efforts as progress, but when David Pakman just presses him, he admits nothing really changed materially. Case closed. Then Pakman just starts breaking down Biden's wins, the pandemic relief, student loan pause, infrastructure, and even ending Afghanistan. Kisin agrees that the war was a quagmire, but claims that the withdrawal was botched. David Pakman just shuts that down. Trump promised to leave but never explained how he'd do it better. Foster acts shocked, but Kisin just has no rebuttal. They just move on.
I suppose it is. The question for me is, I mean, I struggle to imagine it going any worse. So I kind of feel like there is a possibility that the preparations could have gone better. Do you think that's unfair?
I have a struggle to imagine it could have gone better. So like, I think where I land is it went the way I expected, you know, and it was correct ultimately to get out.
Okay. Please carry on. I interrupted you.
Biden.
We're talking about whether you're happy with the Biden presidency.
Yeah,
basically.
I mean, it's like, listen, he's doing exactly what I expected. You know, I didn't expect him to do anything on cannabis decriminalization, and he's not. And I didn't expect any, at least in the first 2 years, immigration reform, and we're not getting it. So, you know, I try not to become jaded or cynical, but basically I've seen from Biden exactly what I expected.
Okay. You mentioned Trump being a humiliation. And look, you know, neither Francis or I were pro-Trump. I thought he raised some important issues, by the way, you know, and immigration not being least of those. We can have a conversation about that maybe later on. But if Trump was a humiliation, perhaps in the way that he talked, and you mentioned some of the promises that he didn't deliver on, the optics of the Biden presidency, do they not make you cringe somewhat when he's shaking hands in midair with people who aren't there and forgetting things and all of that?
Beautiful. So are you guys open to a good faith conversation about that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay, so let's go piece by piece. Does Joe Biden sometimes lose his train of thought? Absolutely. Absolutely. There's no question about it. And he's close to 80 years old. If you compare Joe Biden today to Joe Biden when he ran circles around Paul Ryan in 2012, it's not the same guy. I have no problem saying that that's absolutely the case. No argument whatsoever. The shaking hands with midair video was a total joke. And I'll tell you the story about it. The weekend that story, the shaking hands with midair went, I looked at the clip on my phone, and it was a very short clip where you just see Biden stop speaking. He turns to the side and he goes like this. I said, oh my goodness, this is terrible. Biden, he seems worse than Trump when Trump came off of his plane and his car was right in front of him, and Trump wandered off and was brought back by the arm by a Secret Service agent, and they said, here's your car. That's worse than when Trump had Rudy Giuliani sitting right across the table and said, where's Rudy?
And maybe I'll ask Rudy to say a few words.
Well,
Where is Rudy?
thank you very, very much, Mr. President. First of all, congratulations on what is in fact a historic start of an administration. I've never seen so much done in so short a period of time.
That Biden clip looked bad. And I was going to report, like, guys, something seems wrong with Joe Biden. And then I found the actual full frame instead of the square Twitter video. And you could see what happened after. And Joe Biden had people to his right and to his back right and to his back. And he literally finished the speech and turned and said something to the people to the right. And then he turns back and he does the exact same thing. And then to the other side and does the exact same thing. So that was a non-story for me.
And now Kisin suggests that Biden's Afghanistan withdrawal could have been handled better. But Pakman just pushes back, saying it wasn't exactly as expected, and getting out was the right move. Kisin just doesn't fight it. End of debate there. Then Kisin just shifts to attacking Biden's optics, bringing up the Biden shaking hands with midair clip, which is a classic right-wing media spin. Pakman just shuts it down though. Context matters here. The clip was misleading, and when viewed in full, it wasn't what the right made it out to be. Pakman also reminds them of Trump's own mental blunders, like wandering off from his car, forgetting where Rudy Giuliani was sitting, and just slurring words. Foster acts shocked, but Kisin just doesn't push back, proving this was just another bad faith attack on Biden.
It was a complete non-story.
I hear you.
Yeah,
David, I haven't done enough research, and I'll admit it readily that I don't know whether that's accurate, but I'm happy for the purpose of this discussion to accept that.
Fair.
But would you accept that Joe Biden mentally is not at his peak? I think you already have.
I already have, yeah.
So is that not a humiliation?
Well, when I say a humiliation, I go by what is global opinion of the United States. That's because I'm one guy, right? And so so I want to say, what does the world think? And we know, because of global Gallup studies and global Pew studies and others, that opinion of the United States as a country, of the US's ability to lead, of the president of the United States, it was in the toilet, to use a phrase Trump likes, to flush 10 or 15 times. Opinion was in the toilet under Trump, and it has recovered dramatically under Biden. So I try to take myself out of it and just say, what does the world think? And there's a couple of exceptions. Russia liked Trump better than Biden. Again, this is not rhetorical. It's just the opinion polls. Russia did like Trump better than Biden. I think Turkey liked Trump better than Biden. And for this may be wrong, but I think I have Nigeria in my mind, liked Trump better than Biden. But other than that, empirically, our global reputation has recovered dramatically under Biden. So that's my standard that I use.
And wrapping this up, Kisin just admits that he hasn't done enough research on Biden's mid-air handshake claim, but even concedes to Pakman's point. He even tries to shift to Biden's mental state, but Pakman doesn't just deny it, he just owns it. Instead of playing into the right-wing narrative, Pakman just keeps shutting it down with real data, pointing out that under Trump, America's global reputation tanked, and under Biden, it recovered significantly. And at the end of the day, Trump was the real global embarrassment, not Biden. Kisin and Foster had nothing left to push back with. Anyways, if you enjoyed watching this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, and comment your thoughts down below.